Oh my God. Jeff from Mid Atlantic Craps made 2 shows in a row today. My friend, how are you, dude? We had a nice talk, Jeff and I, a couple days ago. Interestingly enough, I have so many friends in this community, right? I got Jeff, I've got Chris and Craig and Ken from Ken Knows Gambling. I talked to him yesterday too. Jen, of course, I talk to almost every day, it seems like. But we don't talk enough, right? Like I made this comment yesterday. I made that point of that story. Remember the story I told you all yesterday about putting the nails in the fence, right? And if you didn't hear that story, watch yesterday's show. The quick and dirty of it is this: it's life's too short not to be kind, right? And being kind is not being nice. And I think that was what the moral of that story was. And it reminds me. My wife tells me this all the time, and I'm going to get little sad with you here, but like my wife reminds me all the time just how infrequently we talk to people, right? Like we talk to my mom. She's now widowed. Once a week or so, right? But because she lives in Florida and I live out here, you can probably count on one hand the number of times I'll probably see her again, right? And I think a lot of your family you can say that with as well. And I look back at like my friends, my guys I coach baseball with, and like I said, my craps friends here. We see each other on Craps for the Cure. You'll see each other again for the meetup in Biloxi. Got to take time out for each other, right? Got to take time, make those phone calls. I will make it a point to call everybody at least once a week. I want to make sure I'm talking to Jeff and Craig and Chris and Gargoyle and Ed and everybody, Ken, Greg from 555 once a week, right? Make sure that we all stay, because I think this community was strong for a long time. And then we had so many people starting channels and so many shows got started, and our attention span is kind of everywhere. We get busy and you forget that at the core of it, right? There's a core group of us that just absolutely worked our asses off to build what we have here across all of it, right? So, yeah, mea culpa for not reaching out to everybody and talking. Brian from Holy Roller, you're another one, right? I have not talked to you in a long time, and we should be talking more often. We have all these great ideas, and we just don't get after it enough, right? By the way, Brian from Holy Roller, if you haven't seen his channel, go to his channel because he's got a new thing that he's selling, which is pretty cool. He's put out kind of a notepad thing that's called the Crafts Roll Tracker, I think, right? You call it the Roll Tracker, but they are little notepad that you can track your craps rolls with. Very, very cool. So, again, I just think I want to kind of lock in here and sort of rebuild, not so much my show, but get reconnected with the community again. I feel like I'm losing touch a little bit. Maybe it's because I'm so worried about work and stuff. But anyway, let's talk about real stuff here. What's brewing today? I was saying this morning, in the garage, and actually on Joe from Craftsmaster Journey show this morning, I wasn't ready for today's show at all. I had this plan to talk about, in Gambling 401, to talk about the notion of nothing matters. Nothing that you do out there matters. And I think the way that the morning show, the Daily Paycheck show went, it actually ties in perfectly to that exact conversation where it really doesn't matter, yet it kind of does. Okay, let's talk about it. I played today the Butterberg. And Jen says, once with the sticks, nobody will see me. You guys will see me all the time. I'm only an hour and a half drive from Ian and everybody else. But the thing is, when I move to the sticks, you got to come see me. When you come to Seattle, you got to come over and see me because it's worth the ride. The ride, I got to tell you this. This is going to go back. We're going to go back a thing, right? For those of you who've been to Washington State, right? It's one of the most beautiful states in the country. It really is. Our scenery here is unbelievable. To get from Seattle to where I'm moving, you have to go over a mountain pass. And it's a big one. It's like you're going to go from sea level to 4,500 feet and back down again, right? Even in the summertime, there's snow up there, right? It's cool as hell. The ride is so worth it just to see all that. And when you get into my town and come to my house, you see the scenery we got. It's totally worth it. You guys gotta come see me for sure. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the Butterberg. So today we talked yesterday about recovery, about how do you recover from loss, and what can we do as a plan coming into the day to recover from loss. Now today I played a strategy called the Butterberg, which if you don't know the Butterberg, I'll show it to you here in a minute. We'll go to my table. I'll demonstrate what it does. And I want to do a comparative analysis between the Butterberg and other ways of kind of regressing. There's so many ways to regress, and I'm trying for a 3-roll deal, right? You know me, my paycheck, it's 3 rolls and I'm home, or 3 hits and I'm home, if I can get it, right? The Butterberg really needs 3 good hits to be done. And by 3 good hits, I mean 3 full-sized box hits, which means it's not 3 rolls. It could be 6, 7, 8 rolls, which is problematic for it. The 2100 salute needs 3 hits, any hit, and you're done. The drawdown needs two and a half hits, and you're done. Okay. The problem with those other ways of playing is that they're high. They're high level bets. So if you lose a lot. The Butterberg, you lose a lot less. So recovery becomes easier. And I thought, let's just do a thing that's admittedly not the best way to make a paycheck, but it also is a great built-in recovery thing, right? And I thought, let's just give that a shot today and see it. Nobody liked it, right? And there's reasons for why nobody liked it, because you end up in a weird spot where I'm rolling 5s, but the 5 is my lowest number, right? I hit it, I regressed it, and it's the one that's hitting, and I'm not getting the pay on, right? It's frustrating in that regard, okay? And I was rolling so many horn numbers today that, the chat was going nuts. Get in the horn, you got to, play the horn. Take what the table's giving you, right? I got to ask you the question, right? And you've seen my numbers. You've all seen my roll stats. I'm pretty transparent about it, right? I'm not going to roll 36 rolls and show you only the 36 rolls that I rolled today and tell you that I'm great, right? I will show you all 8,000 rolls that I rolled over the last 6 months and show you that I'm not great. I'm exactly random, right? So the question number 1 is it a random game? The answer to that question is yes, it is a random game, okay? Can a DI influence the randomness to some degree, or pull and tug on the randomness and have maybe a random distribution, but in a session have a different slot? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Right? Is every dice roll independent? Yes. Was I throwing a lot of horns today? Yes. Did I chase the horns? No. Right? Why? We were talking with somebody in chat and we said, hey, you know what? Some days I'm out there, I'm betting the horn every single roll because I don't want to waste the roll. And I never hit one. Days like today, I didn't bet the horn. I threw like 10 of them, right? So I missed that day. I burned money one day. I made money today. Overall, tie, right? If I take the sessions where I'm burning $100 on the horn or $25 on the horn every roll, and I don't win, and then today I would have won 4 or 5 of them. At the end, we squash and it's a tie. It doesn't matter. That's why I say it doesn't matter. Today it would have mattered, but overall, it doesn't matter at all. I got less profit that day because I burned horn money, and I missed out on profit today because I didn't bet the horn. At the end of the day, I'm right where I should have been. All of it comes out in the wash, right? And if you're a believer in the DI thing, if you're a believer that what I'm doing with those dice today made the horns come, right? If that's what your thought is, you say, John, you should have been betting what you were throwing. I'm saying no. I'm trying not to throw horns. I'm changing my dice set to not throw horns. I'm trying not to be there. Why would I put money on a bet that I'm not trying to hit? That's a complete mistake, right? That was my mindset today. So no, I'm not going to chase it, right? And that's my reason why. I was telling Jen this, I'm pretty dogmatic about things, right? I will play a strategy into the wall sometimes because I know, ultimately speaking, what's going to happen over the course of 2 or 3 sessions. I'm not looking typically at what's in front of me today. That's just me. So that's it. That's it. I don't chase my tail. I don't try and chase the table. I just don't do it. Right. I'm too much of a believer in it being random on 99% of the people out there, myself included. And if I'm throwing horns, I'm trying not to. So I'm not going to bet what I'm not trying to do. So that's it. Right. Jen's like saying, I'm not always hungry, but I don't eat. Right. Eat when you're hungry. I get what you're saying. Right. But again, I don't know that they're going to come again. Like, if I got my dice set and my throw and I got a horn number, that was weird. Do it again, another horn number. That's weird. Change my dice set because I don't want to keep throwing horn numbers. I shouldn't bet the horn. That's what I was trying to do. And you guys don't see what I'm doing with the dice down there. I'm changing where I'm throwing. I'm trying to avoid what I'm doing, not trying to have more of what I'm doing. So I wouldn't put money after what I'm trying not to do. I guess that's what I'm saying. And again, even if I can do it or not is irrelevant, right? Mentally, I'm making that decision. That's why I don't chase it. I just don't chase it. I feel like those bets, any kind of a hopping thing, if it's a horn or a field, I don't like chasing hop bets. I just don't like doing it. It's too much of a bleed for me. There are times when it works out, but by and large, I feel like I get burned on that more often than I don't because I'm always behind it, right? The trend of horns has happened. It's not still happening. That's just my personal thing. I know it's a failing point, right? Heavy and all the guys would tell me that I'm nuts, right? But I also don't take big ass kickings either. So how nuts am I, right? Anyway, you're all coming to build me wait, I'm telling you, this house is nice, man. It's nice. You will like it. Either all or none, right? And it is a losing play sometimes. And again, if I lose $100 today on the horns and I win $95 tomorrow, what did I gain? Right? That's where I kind of feel to it, right? And again, so for me, that's just not the way that I do it. And I think this is a good statement. If I want 3 and out, I got to have the horns. And that is the truest statement of all. And Wager says yes, right? I 100% with you. If I'm in this thing for 3 rolls and I'm out, 2,100 across and $100 horn, 3 rolls and bye-bye, totally betting the horns. I'm not wasting a roll. That's a shot in the dark. I'm not wasting a roll, right? If I'm doing a regression and I'm playing the box and doing like regular craps and horns start showing up, I'm not chasing those sons of bitches. I'm just not doing it. That's just me. And I will happily leave profit out there or ungained opportunity for me not to chase it. That's, I think, where the difference is. And I think we can agree on that. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah, ATS, all or none, right? It's you're either gonna invest in it or you're not, Jacob, right? That's it. Picking the people to play it on, like I sometimes do, play it on myself. It's kind of dumb, right? It's kind of a dumb bet anyway, but it's, you got to either be in on it or not in on it, because you're right. Trying to figure out who's going to hit it is stupid. 100%. All right, let's go to my table. I want to just, actually we'll do a quick review of the paycheck and then we'll go to the table. Let's see, June 7-0. So far, so good. We won $8,700 this month, which means I can take a full loss and still be in profit, which is awesome, right? That full loss is coming. You guys got to tune in. You guys got to come every day, 7:00 in the morning Pacific, to watch Daily Paycheck, because I'm 7-0 this month. It's coming. There's going to be a day where I burn $6,500 and I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to break my stick. I'm going to throw shit around. I'm going to break a coffee cup. It's going to be on when that happens. Got to watch. Or I'll go 30-0 and ride off into the sunset and never do a show again. One of those two things is true. I'm either going to lose it all and break something, or I'm going to win it all, win forever, and you'll never see me again. Ride off a champion and be done with it. But yeah, so far, so good. I've added a new column here because we now have the Butterberg, which is 1-0. Won $1,600 today, which is pretty good. The Skill 66 yesterday won $975. Again, I didn't like that play either. Both of these plays have a problem, which is that it takes too long to get there. Okay. It takes too long to get to the paycheck. The paycheck's got to be done quick, right? Let's transition. Let me go to my table, and I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to turn the light out, the one light out and the one light on. Let's see if I get, that's going to be really dark for a minute, so forgive me. And put this light on. Let's see if we can get better color. Does that look more like the right color to you, like more brown? That's normal. Okay, that's better than normal. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you the Butterberg and what I was working on today, and the difference between the Butterberg and these 2 drawdowns that I do. All right, let's. They're all kind of regressions, kind of. Here we go. The Butterberg first. I'm going to go out here at 160 across. Okay, for those of you who didn't watch the show this morning, 160 across. We're going to go $25 on the number, 6 and 8 for 30, and there we go. What we're going to do is whatever number hits, it's coming down. So let's say the 9 hits for $35. It comes down. Oops, $35. It comes down and it goes to 10. $75 back in rack. The 5 hits, it pays $35. It comes down and goes to 10. I have an extra quarter there. Right? So we have $100 back in our rack in 2 hits. You basically take the number that hits, crush it down to minimum, take the win and the bet back. And you're out of here in a couple of rolls. You're doing good, right? Let's say an 8 comes for $35. That's fantastic, right? The 8 comes down, goes back out for $12, table minimum, and there's my 160. Right? I'm back in 3 hits. My money's back in my rack. Right? There's my 160. I got $3 in profit, and I've got all the bets are still out here. I could at this point bring them all down to minimum. Let's go to 64 across. I could leave these out here and let them play themselves out too. Take a 6 hit, same thing. 6 pays 35, comes down to minimum, and now I've got locked profit. So in the 4th roll, I'm locked in profit. It's great. It's a fantastic system when it works. Today it worked in my other show. The problem here is that what happened to me this morning was this. I'll show you exactly where I ended up today. If you missed the show, you miss a lot. There's a lot of things go on in there. Here's the 160. Let's put it back as it was. What happened today was we hit the 9, right? I brought the 9 down to table minimum, and then I hit the 9 again for 14 freaking bucks, right? I took down the one I hit, and I hit it for a little tiny bit. I'm like, well, that sucks, right? Okay, we'll same bet that. And then I hit, I think I hit the 5 for $35, right? Brought it down, and then hit a 5 again. And this one, I'm dinking up the small. I kept bringing down numbers and hitting them instead of hitting these, right? Now, I did reduce my risk. I did pull money back off the table like you're supposed to do, right? It's always be collecting, regressing our bets. It all makes sense. However, I'm not out of the hand in my 3 hits when I hit the same number twice. I still have a lot of bets out here, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for 3 meaningful hits. I need to get 3 meaningful hits here to get out of it, which means it's not a good strategy to play for a paycheck in that respect, right? If you need 3 meaningful hits and you're regressing stuff as you go through it, it's almost impossible to get there, right? So that was the Butterberg. I like the idea of it. And in theory, it makes sense. Hit, pull down, and be done. Hit, pull down, and be done with the number. But I wasted a lot of rolls on horns, had a bunch of horn numbers that meant nothing, had a bunch of repeaters that didn't get the row. So that didn't work, okay? The other way that we've been playing, and again, I'll use my $500 bankroll as the source of it, was to go 204 across. Okay, so here's going to be 160. Let's take another $50. This won't be enough. I'll need to get another quarter, but 35, 5, and 9. 25, 4, and 10. 42 on the 6 and 8. Okay. That takes about half my bankroll to get out there. 204 across. I've got 250 in the rack, right? That's the 450 plus the extras, right? So we're kind of light right here, right? We're kind of light. Actually, I'm light one extra quarter. Yeah, I'm light. So we're half the bankroll is at risk, essentially, right? But here, the difference with this one is that you're pulling money back quick, right? These bets all pay $50. $50 for one, right? So you take a hit, you take another hit, and you're out. 2 hits and you're at $100, and that's your profit for the day, right? $100, right? That becomes your 20%. You're home, right? You're 2 hits in the box away. If you wanted to throw a horn number out there, $5 horn high something, right? You burn a nickel twice, maybe getting these hits to come in. So you're at $90 instead of $100, and you're fine. That's an okay pay. That's okay. 2 rolls out. That's the time to play the horns. But here your risk is the same risk the whole time. You got 204 out there the entire time. You burn it here, you're at 150, right? So again, that one's nice because the numbers are easy. $50 every time you get a hit. It's a beautiful thing. Or in my case, in the morning, $500 when I get hit. I'm out there $2,000. That's a nice one. There's no regression. Okay. The third way we've been doing it, and again, it doesn't matter. I say this all the time. This is where I'm getting to the it just doesn't matter part of my talk today. It just doesn't matter because if I were to go out here with that and go, oh my God, that's crazy, John. That's so much money. If I went out here at 320 across, okay, let's see 320. Right, everything, all dollar values are double. 320 across, right? 320 across. That would give me 180 in the rack. Okay, 180 in the rack. If I go 320 across and $500, I'd have 180 left in the rack. That would be like most of my bankroll. You're going, oh my gravy, you are insane. Why would anybody buy in for $500 and risk 320 of it? Right? Have only, whatever, 180 left in the rack. Well, here's the plan. If it works, I'm out. If it doesn't work, the recovery plan is to go out there at 160 and work something different, right, to recover. But here's the big regression, right? This one here is a one-roll thing, right? It's going to pay 75 for 5 on any inside hit. Half the money comes down. You're out there at 160. Instead of being at risk for 320 after hit one, there's 225 bucks back. Actually, 235 back. You're now at risk for less than 100, about 90 bucks. Right? Rack goes right back to where it was. There's your 300. Look at that. You got $400 back in the rack, 410 in the rack. I'm only out 90 bucks if I lose here, right? That one roll of oh shit, and my risk is almost eliminated. On the second hit for 35 bucks and I go home, guess what? I'm home. There's my starting bankroll. 2 hits later, there's my 100 bucks. $100 and 5 for the good, right? This would have been $5 in the horn, $5 in the horn. If we didn't get the horn numbers, right, then we're at $95 profit. That's a drawdown. So go huge, take the hit with the horn, draw it down. Take the hit, go home. The other one is 204 across, take 2 hits with the horns, go home, never draw down. The first one was go even smaller. It was the smallest one of all. It was 160 instead of 204, 160 instead of 320. But remember we talked about time optimization? It takes more time to get meaningful hits. That one puts you exposure for a longer period of time. Ultimately, they're all the same, right? 2 hits at 204 across, 2 hits at 320 down to 160, or 3 hits for the Butterbird. You all end up at $100 in profit. Every time, every one of those things ends up in $100 in profit with 2 or 3 hits. It's a matter of optimizing for time. You want to be out here for 2 rolls, 3 rolls, or 3 hits. And the price you pay for that, right? The Butterbird's niceness is that it's only 160 versus 320. That's a good piece, right? It's less bankroll exposed. However, you're exposed for more time because it takes more time to get meaningful hits because you might regress some, right? 204 across, you're optimizing for time. It's 2 hits and done, but your bankroll exposure is bigger. The Dallas Drawdown, way bigger bankroll, guarantee of 2 rolls and out. So that's a good look at like what we've been talking about this whole week, about this idea of what am I going to dodge in terms of exposure? Covering more numbers plus the horn, I'm exposed to nothing except the 7. But at what cost of my bankroll am I doing that? So let's roll the Butterbird out. Let's roll it out. I want you to watch it in real time. Let's watch. We'll do it at the 160 level. There's 175 with 15 change. Roll it out. You guys can react to it in chat. Love it or hate it. I don't care. But here we go. Let's see what you think. I'll even take these nickels and we'll do horn bets with them. And I'm completely random here. I'm just going to huck from 2 feet away. Let's get a point. There's a 5. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see how we like this strategy or this way of playing. Let's go. There's a 7. We don't like it at all. We hate this strategy. The strategy sucks. It's a 7. Unfortunately, with the horn bet in there, we burned it right away. PSO can't fix that. No strategy helps that. 160 out. 150. Here's 160 for my rack. Okay, I'm just going to replace the bets from the rack. I'll take this quarter as nickels and go to the horn with it. Matter of fact, I don't have this chip anymore. So I'm going to put Chiro's chip out there for good luck. But here we go. Let's come on out. Everything's off for the come out. There's a midnight. Everything's off. There's a 5. Here we go. Let's see. And we can make money. There's a 9. Here's the case, right? You're going to lose the horn. Okay. 9 pays 35. Comes down. Goes to table minimum. Horn bet goes back. $50 goes back to my rack. And we're going to try and get this rack filled up. And there it is, right? There's the 9. This is what happened to me out in the garage. I roll a 9. It sucks, right? I get $14 out of that. And, big freaking deal, right? I'll same bet it the first time. Then I'll start pressing on it, right? We're going to turn these bets from minimums into hopefully something good. Another 9. 5, 4, 9. We do 15 for 1. I'll make it look like 20. Take a nickel back. That horn falls. Horn goes back. 7. So there's the Butterbird in all its glory, right? You got one number to hit 3 times. Completely wasted 3 9s. Got nothing out of the hand, right? I like the idea of this thing, but look at what happened. You got to get meaningful hits. I had three hits in the 204 across, paycheck and home. In the drawdown, paycheck and home. In the Butterbird, it's a loss. It's a huge ass loss, right? We got nothing. We got literally 25 hours out of that hand, right? Insanity, right? I like the idea, but you can see rhythm of these things ends up being kind of a bad thing sometimes. So there is that. There is that. Interesting, isn't it? Right? We lost 160 twice. Now, the other two ways of playing would have won paychecks, but the PSO that we had, if I was out there at 320 on the drawdown, that's a big matzo ball to come back from, right? So we should probably look at that, right? If I was at $500, let's do it. Let's put it back. This guy here lost 150. He lost 160 on the PSO, and he won 202. So he lost $300. He lost $300 total. Actually. 1, 2. The Butterbird guy lost $300. That's what's in his rack. He lost $300 total, right? By the first shooter getting a little bit of a hit, the second shooter PSOing, and the third shooter not doing anything. He's down $300. Okay. The guy that did the 320 across, right? If I was doing the drawdown, the first shooter, he would have made his $100. He would have made it on the first shooter. The second shooter, he would have made one. He would have made one hit, but then we had the 7 after that. He would have lost $90. So he would have been up a total of $10. The third shooter with the 3 9s, he makes the $100 again. The 47's out, right? He's actually up $110. So the drawdown guy actually wins money, where the Butterbird guy lost $300 because again he's 2 hits and out. It's interesting, actually. I should have ran them all at the same time to see that rhythm. Anyway, there is that. I don't know if that's meaningful or not, but I wanted to. It's in my head to kind of talk through this, and I think those are good examples of not so much rhythm, but good examples of the notion of exposure versus time versus bet size. Very interesting. Right, losing 320 sucks, but winning $200 3 times in a row or $100 3 times in a row, recovered that pretty quick. The other guy never got out of the gate. Time is a bitch, man. Needing 3 meaningful hits is really, really hard. Like, it's really hard. Give me two rolls and out. Give me 2 rolls and out all day long. Let's come back over here. Let's see. I'm going to do this screen here. Actually, can we go here? I'm going to go check the comments. I got to get to work. It's kind of a weird day today, but let me check the comments here and see what y'all are saying to me. Let's see here. Nothing hit to dice better from auxiliary action while waiting. Shooter. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a different strategy. That's not the Butterbird. The Butterbird is pull down the number, not the number and the sister. That's a different way of playing it, but same idea, right? Get your money off the table quick. The problem with the Butterbird is, and again, I couldn't have scripted it any better. What you just saw, like just now, hitting the 9, pulling the 9, beautiful. Love that part of the Butterbird. Then what happens? Hit a 9 for $14. Hit a 9 for $14, and what do you end up with? $30, right? It ends up wasting rolls because you're not pulling other stuff down. Now, if you pull down other numbers every time, get the 9, pull the 5 down. Get the 9 again, pull the 6 down. Right? You start pulling random things down. All you're doing is taking risk off the table. You're not bringing any profit home. I don't know, man. In theory, it makes good sense. In practice, I've had that happen more often than it working. So, is it a way to make a paycheck? I don't think so. It's fun, but I don't think it's a way to make a pay. Oh shit, no, Mike, I did it again, didn't I? Damn it. I'll tell you what. In the new studio, y'all make fun of me. Y'all making fun of me. Let me go over here. Y'all making fun of me for moving to the sticks. When you come to my house, you'll appreciate why I moved. But B, the studio in there is way better than this room. That's going to be a dedicated room. It's a little bit bigger than what I'm in now. This is an 8. I think it's 9x9. This room. I think it's 9x9. The new studio, my room will be 13x11. or 14 by 11, which means my full size table will fit in the room. The cameras will be in the ceiling looking down at the table, and the microphone will be up there as well. So when I'm doing the shows, the microphone will have full room coverage. I'll never have to do this microphone switch crap again. It'll always be a good full room mic. So you'll never have me not being able to be heard. You'll never have a bad view of the table. And the table is going to have a roulette piece that I'm building for it as well. So it'll be a much better setup when it's all said and done. I'll do a big tour of it all when we get moved in. It's going to be a few weeks. There will probably be a week or two coming up. We move like the weekend of the 27th of this month. I'm going to start the move. There will probably be a week or two following that where there won't be any shows while I'm in transition. So bear with if you don't mind. Let's see. I have a studio. Yeah, I have a studio. I will have a nice studio. This is my office. This is a different thing here. Anyway, what else you want to say? Any questions? Anything you want to bitch? You want to laugh at me? It's all good. I got 5 minutes to talk to y'all before I go to work. Let's see. You're going to build me a bathroom. No outhouse. That's funny. Let's see. Gary says, I'm playing the one count and believe in it. I know the math doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what? I'm not opposed to the one count. I'm not opposed to it. It seems like for some reason, and here's the thing. Mathematically speaking, it doesn't matter. You're right. It doesn't matter. If if you person sets a point and you bet it, you're going to lose that next roll 6 times out of whatever, right? 1 out of 6 times somebody's going to PSO. That's just what's going to happen. If you wait a roll and turn your bets on, you're going to lose that bet 1 out of 6 times. It's just the way the 7 is, right? There's no dodging it. The thing of it is you feel like, and I do this too, and I know a lot of people play this way. You feel like you did something. Like you remember the fact that you dodged it, but you don't remember the fact that the next guy got you, right? The next roll got you. Like remember all the good times on those things. Like when our superstition worked for us works. But yeah, I'm not a disbeliever in it. I'm okay with that. If I'm doing a YOLO though, like this, 3 rolls and out type of thing. If I'm going 3 rolls and out, I don't want to wait. I want to get out. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'll work the come out. Just like give me the come out roll, give me the next roll, and I'm done. Right? 2 rolls and bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to wait for the come out roll and then a roll, and then maybe we get 2 rolls after that, because that's what you would need if you're playing for a 2-hit strategy. So I don't know. This game is frustrating on so many levels. Anyway, let's see. PCs, there's no more of those. Any questions here? Seattle Airport is still the closest airport. I got to drive about 1 hour and 45 minutes to it. There is an airport in Wenatchee that's 5 minutes from my house. Not even 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes from my house. It's a regional airport, so security is a 3-minute security, and it's a 35-minute flight. So I can walk from my house to the airport almost. Take a scooter up there, spend 5 minutes in security, take a 35-minute flight to Seattle, and I'm anywhere I want to be. It's super quick. It's like no big deal. It's expensive. That flight's $200, but really it's not that hard at all. Holy Roller says, which of all the paychecks, which one do I think is the best to play on a cruise for a free comped cruise? Well, that depends big time, because paycheck strategies are not good for cruising. I would say the paycheck strategies are not good for cruising. Why do I say that? My paycheck strategies are designed to get me out quick. Like literally wake up in the morning, go to the casino, put my 320 out there, take 2 hits, walk away with $100, right? Take the $100 later on and play with it. Or, go out there for whatever, 640 across, take 2 hits, you're out there with 225 or whatever. And you're not playing anymore. Cruise ship play is about longevity, right? You can't be out there for 160 across or 320 across for 2 rolls and then not playing, because your rating will be 0. You're not going to earn your free cruise. You got to play for a long time. So we talked about goals a while back, and the goal of a cruiser is twofold. 1, make sure you've got consistently sized bets that are getting attention and earning you the points for the free one. That's number 1. Number 2, do that for a long ass time, right? Your way of playing where you hedge a little bit makes a little bit of sense to keep you out there for time. I would play, frankly, the next time I cruise, I will play a lot of Headless Horseman, which is a don't pass, $25 don't pass, 3 $10 come bets, no odds, right? My total out there is $65, right? Or $55. That's fine. When they hit and I place the bets again, my average bet out there is going to be between 50 and $80. That strategy will grind you out. You're going to tie almost every single time. You're really at low risk. Only the come out roll is a bad one for you. That thing will last you forever. And the whole point of it is to give me my spread forever. If you want to up it and go 75 on the, or $50 on the don't, 25, 25, 25, that's great, right? That's 125 in action. You're going to tie probably 5 out of 7 times you're going to tie. One time you're going to win a little bit. One time you're going to lose a little bit. You're just going to be here all day long. That's a great cruise ship strategy. It's not going to make you a paycheck. It's going to take 100 rolls to make a paycheck, but it's going to keep you living the whole time. I should have done more of that on the cruise, frankly. I was doing a lot of low level across, low level inside, 1, 2, 3 hits and then press. And I ground out a lot. I hit a couple home runs with it, but honestly, I think the better way to play that is a little bit of even keel and keep your bets consistently side. I don't worry about the cruise ship having shitty odds when the horseman's a no odds play, right? And I'm fully aware that that's the dumbest thing you can do, right? You're not taking your odds. The flat come bet is still the lowest house edge of all the place bets. It's lower house edge without the odds than the 6 or 8 is. That's a fine play to do it. That's what I would say, Ryan. I would probably do the horseman of all of them. It's the lowest risk. When I watch guys play the light and the darkness, they were getting picked off on those big lay bets too often and never recovered. So for me, let's keep it as simple as possible, but keep the bets consistently sized. Let's see. Anthony says, let me leave or tell me. I'm not, that must be for somebody else, I guess. Right. All right. I think that's it. I think we've covered all the questions. No more comments that I can see that are directed at me. Y'all are talking amongst yourselves, which is great. Let me see what's in here that I can see. Anything that's interesting. Yeah, mathematically speaking, don't play craps, right? You do have to ignore it. And I say this a lot too, right? This is a good point, Jen. Thanks for bringing it up. I say this a lot where I know the math, right? I think Ed calls me the math guy, right? I'm not a math guy. I know the math. I understand the math, but I'm not a slave to the math, right? I'm not going to let the math drive me down roads. Like I'm not going to pick low house edge bets because the math says so. I'm not going to do XYZ because the math says so, except for hop bets. The only time where I let the math creep into my head is on the hops, like hopping, like the horn bets, that kind of thing, because I just believe in the nature of randomness. I'm not gonna just like lose with a hopping system, right? Or trying to chase something. I just feel like that's the one time that I let math drive me, is I'm just not going to chase things that I know are going to be bad for me in the long run. But everything else, it's a feel for me. I play a very feel-oriented game. Sometimes I'm same betting. Sometimes I'm hard pressing. Sometimes it's random for me in terms of how I attack. Sometimes when I attack, much more of a feel thing for me. There are times where I'm dogmatic, and hopping is where I'm very dogmatic about stuff. So, all right, what have we learned today? Probably nothing. Nothing. You learned nothing today because I didn't teach anything today. Today, I literally just wanted to show you the strategy I was playing and gripe a little bit about my day. That's it. Yesterday was a rough day for me. I did no show prep yesterday, so there's no notes, and that's it. That's it. Tom Mars, great research in Craft Lab. This is the thing, right? Thanks for that. Like I said, I don't always have a plan, but looking at that kind of stuff like we did today, I think is interesting. Like, take from what you will, right? 320 for 2 hits and you're safe. 320 PSO, oh God, right? The other guy's at 160 but never got it done. So he loses 160 twice and never got a win. The other guy lost 320 once, same level of loss, but the 320 guy got a win in there too, right? So ultimately, they lose the same amount of money, right? They both went down 320 for different reasons at different times. But the other guy, because he was playing the shorter game, optimizing for time, made profit. That's to me something you could learn. You could learn that. And that's or something that we learned today when you watch the things play out. That time optimization is where it's interesting. So John has a studio as well. You can look at it, right? You can look at my studio. If I can gimbal my camera around, you haven't seen this yet. Let me show you. If if you haven't seen this, I've got a tiny camera 4. Let's see here. If I do, well, give me a second here. I'll play with you. If I go to a new preset, where's it? It's going to go. It's going to go to my desk. That's wonderful. Let me show you. There is my little, see my office? You can kind of, it's a little tiny room, right? It's very small. Like that's what I have right now. There's the camera on top that looks down at my table, right? The baffles on the walls. I think I can turn it all the way around. I can't go backwards with it. It won't go to the behind. There's the light box. Oh yeah, there's behind my desk. There's the wall. Right. So that's it. That's my room. It's tiny. There's my desk and there's me. I'm back. Hey. Right. A little PTZ camera. But that's it. Right. Picture this room, but twice as wide. Twice as wide and another 4 feet deep. That's my new studio. So the big table will fit inside the house, which is awesome. I have room for my desk. It's gonna be fantastic. Yeah. Oh, the new house. Yeah, the new house is gonna be great. It's gonna be really nice. Oh my God, seasick, right? Yeah. Oh God, the come out sevens on our cruise were brutal, Jen. Absolutely brutal. If I was doing like the across bet with the horn and saying, "Hey, YOLO," would have got killed in that cruise. Would have got killed. Yeah. On that note, I think the show's over. Y'all have a great, what is it, Wednesday? Great Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'll be better prepared. We'll have a nice lecture tomorrow. We're going to start getting into, in the 4-1 series, by the way, a little bit more about strategy building, a little bit more now about what we just talked about. When you're optimizing for time and all the different things, what is it you're going to do, right? Are you going to be more aggressive, more conservative, more whatever? We're going to break down all the different play styles and let you have some of the keys to the kingdom in terms of building your own way to play that fits your mentality, fits your bankroll, and fits your style. So that said, guys, I am out. Happy Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Good one. Bye.